Hey yo, check it out. It's your boy Sheist, and this right here is LabLifePro. Keep it locked. Don't go nowhere. I produce anything from urban hip hop to R&B to pop. I've been known to produce rock in my previous work. I've done a little bit of metal. I just do whatever I'm called upon to do. Mostly R&B and hip hop, things that are true to my genre that I actually record as a recording artist, but I'm open to anything. I've done pop, I've recorded R&B, I wrote R&B songs for singers. I try to do as much as possible. To produce a hip hop track, I would use, I prefer MPC to 2500 XL, that's what I use. It was the last model created by the original makers of the MPC. So if you like the modern basic, you know, hit the pads type, which most of us producers like, you can get an MPC, you can get an SP1200, which was made classic by like Above the Law and DJ Quick. Sometimes I've used Fruity Loops in the past, which is cool. People that are against Fruity Loops that say, oh, you shouldn't use like software, musical equipment or whatnot, you know, they need to be reminded that like the Black Album by Jay-Z has Fruity Loops beats on there. So, you know, don't hate on Fruity Loops and don't hate on software. Software is just as good as hardware. So I like the MPC, the SP1200, I like Fruity Loops, I like, you can use Reason and Pro Tools, you know, as an input to do beats, and I just like anything. I don't honestly have a preference, but my favorite piece of machinery is definitely that MPC. As far as the keyboards, I like the Phantom. I like anything by Roland. You don't actually have to get a full-on keyboard if you don't want. You can get a module, a keyboard module, and then you can hook it up to something like a Korg Trinity, a TR Rack. You can hook it up to any one of the modules, Planet Fat. Those are some of the old school ones made famous by like BBD and Michael Bivins, an era that pretty much influenced me to want to do music in the first place. So I like to keep it old school and mess with some of the old school modules. So you can use a Phantom, you can use an X10. Keyboards is all good. I produce for a number of artists myself. Noontime out of Compton, I produced for Young Life from Black Wall Street. Back when we were doing mixtapes, I produced and wrote songs with Mariah Carey. I produced for and wrote songs with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., Vita, Cadillac Todd, Black Child, Nate Dogg, Warren G, TQ, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I would say anyone that you've ever seen me do a collaboration with, 9 times out of 10 I did a production for them as well. So just the legends. I love working with the legends. Definitely DJ Quick, right off top. I think he's one of the greatest producers ever, like any genre. I love Dr. Dre. I absolutely love Teddy Riley, the inventor of New Jack Swing, which most people don't know. That's a genre in itself. That's when you mixed R&B with hardcore urban hip hop to get, you know, when we have our TQs and we have like even Nate Dogg's and Butch Cassidy's and anyone that sings with the hardcore edge, that's all inspired by Teddy Riley. So he definitely gets props. Johnny J, rest in peace, that was my mentor, and everyone knows that he is the reason why Tupac pretty much had that resurgence in 1996 with that gangsta funk sound that he came with. He was on a more political, Pac has always had good beats, no doubt, but there's no question that when he got with Johnny J that it tipped the scales. He turned all the way up. So Johnny J definitely gets a lot of props. Absolutely Warren G. Gotta throw in G-Dub for the G-Funk, Above the Law, some of the greatest producers ever. DJ Unique, great producer. We wouldn't have Bone Thugs and Harmony if it wasn't for his sound. Puffy, he's Diddy now, but Puffy is when he was at his best, when he was making those best sample beats. There's so many, but everybody from DJ Quick down to Teddy and Johnny, Warren, all of those. The last project, I'm currently working on my album right now, my new album that's going to be coming out this summer, Black Ops. Outside of this, I've been working with just other artists, local artists that I'm working on developing. Noon, I'm working on his project. He's not in development. He's actually my partner in rhyme, and anyone that knows me knows him. So he has a new album coming out. I've been doing some things with him. There's a new female artist that's coming out of Oceanside named Nina Mack, and she hired me to do her first single, and I did that with her earlier this week. And we had a lot of chemistry as far as her style and my production, the way that I'm going with it, with the type of sound that she's going for the clubs. And so she wants me to work on her album, her debut album. So we got new females coming up out of the West Side. And then I just been trying to work with, my usual, the usual producers that I work with, and some of the legends like Warren G, and I'm trying to get back with DJ Quick to do some things with him. But I've just been pretty much focusing on my inner circle, everybody from my PYO Entertainment, and anybody from the West Side. I'm definitely down for it. Jigga, definitely Jay-Z, and that's only because I pretty much have recorded with, I think, everybody that I wanted to, except for maybe Michael Jackson and Tupac and Bob Marley. So I would say living, definitely Jay-Z, because he's the man, and he definitely has what the people want right now. And he actually put something classic into my ear back in 2002 when I was doing Powerhouse for Power 106, and it was my first one ever. And he actually gave me words of encouragement and told me that my music was what him and Dame Dash were listening to all while they were out in Los Angeles. It was Where I Want to Be that put him on to me, but they had got a copy of some of my other work from the DeMizza. And that was inspiring for someone on the level of Jay-Z to tell me that he listens to my music and that he likes it. So I definitely went hard ever since then, and I've always dreamed of being able to get that collaboration with him, because I worked with everybody else that he's worked with. So one day, if you seeing this, Jigga, holla, let's do it. I don't know if I could pick a particular song, but I would say that while I was working on my very first album, Informal Introduction, I actually got to get a lot of tutelage from Dr. Dre, because he was working next door to me, and he would come over every single day and listen to what we were working on that day, and he would give a nod of approval, or he would shake his head like, nah, that's not it. And he did that like every day for weeks and weeks, and I got to, without verbally talking to him, got to get a feel for what's good, what's acceptable, what's quality, and what's not. So rather than pick one song, I would just say that my project, my very first album, Informal Introduction, set a trend of quality that I pretty much got from Dr. Dre. And he taught me to not just accept anything, and to not just go with what you do first, or what you think that you have. Always go through it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that you have your quality. So doing the first album got me to the second one, and without the help of all the major heavy hitters and producers and artists like I had on the first one, I was still able to get the same exact quality as I did on the first one. So I would say I learned a lot from my first album. Dream collaboration. I'm assuming by dream I can pick living or dead. So my absolute dream collaboration would be something along the lines of me and Tupac with Nate Dogg and Roger Troutman. And Quick can do the beat.